Hello and welcome to another episode of Wednesdays with WV. This is episode number 54. I got someone who's been a part of the India squad in the 96 World Cup and who's played a lot of cricket, especially in playing for different states in the domestic circuit. And he could have gone on to play a lot more cricket for India, but that was not to be. But post retirement, he's been an integral part of teams in the IPL as far as team management is concerned. He's doing a great job. It's none other than Aashish Kapoor, who played for Tamil Nadu and for Punjab and for Rajasthan and for Tripura, and who's highly experienced. Welcome, Ashish, and good morning. How are things with you?
Thank you. All fine, thanks. Hope the same with you and happy Diwali.
Thank you, and wish you the same. Let's go back to where it all started. Your school was one which focused more on academics, and how difficult was it for you to play cricket and to also convince the school authorities that they should encourage cricket?
I mean, it was difficult, but then my dad was there at that point in time to take care of that because we didn't have a ground, a cricket ground when I started playing cricket, and we didn't have a school. We didn't participate in TNC school tournaments, and I became the state captain. It's only after that that the principal realized, and there was a law college opposite our school, which my father said we can take and practice. So I got about 8 or 9 friends from my class, made a team, and we started playing tournaments. So that's how it all began.
So, did it obviously help that the school, on one hand, was more about academics, and then you also had to play cricket, and somewhere you had to strike a balance those days, wasn't it? Both academics and sport.
No, academics, whether the school was good at it or not, my father was. Uh, he was like, even if you play cricket, it doesn't matter. You need to come first. It's not even second, third, or in the top 10 or something. So uh, the school didn't have to do anything. My dad did everything for me.
As far as cricket is concerned, he was one who brought you to the ground. He encouraged you a lot. But even from your younger days, you had to contend with a lot of serious competition, wasn't it?
Yes, Ram, that competition was there right till the end, from the start till the end. And I think that competition should be there for someone to reach higher levels. If there's no competition, obviously you might start stagnating, might think you're the best. And so the competition being there was good in a way. And with Tamil Nadu having so many good players, it was always that you had to do well in every game that you went in.
What is it with this off spinners of Tamil Nadu? They start off as batters and then go on to become off spinners. You did that. Ashwin has done it much later. From what I heard from Venkat Raghavan talking to me about his batting, he said he also fancied himself as a batter first. What's this now?
Ram, it's not right arm off spinner, it's left arm spinners also, including you. You are a
I did
left
the
arm
other way
spinner.
around. I did the other way around.
So in Tamil Nadu, they have that ability to change what you are. From what you start, they when you end, you're someone different. So Tamil Nadu has that ability as a state.
Yeah, as you grew along in the junior level, you got heaps of runs batting at the top of the order, and then you are a batting all rounder. And when you came to the senior level, you had to tweak things a little, in fact, a lot more than you thought you would have had to.
Yeah. Um, uh, I mean, this is I want everyone to know. I was a pure batsman who used to bowl that time pass bowling. So if it was a series, India Pakistan, and some pace bowlers bowling in the nets, I would after my batting start imitating the action of that pace bowler who's doing well in that series. If it's a spinner, I would imitate his, whether he's a leg spinner or off spinner, it didn't matter. So in the matches, I used to get those 3, 4 overs, pick up 1 wicket, like a breakthrough bowler. Uh, but in school cricket, because there was nobody, I had to bowl 15 overs from one end. So I used to enjoy bowling, and maybe somewhere down the line, because I used to bowl so much in the nets, even though I was a batsman, I improved without my knowledge. And then I want to tell everyone, you were my captain. First time you hadn't even seen me or spoken. I mean, you had seen me, you're not spoken to me. And when I joined MRF, you're the first one to tell me that you will play for India as a off spinner who can bat, not as a batsman. And I came home. This message was passed on to me by Mr. Shekhar, our manager, and I was stunned for the whole day or a week. Like, what is he saying? I mean, I couldn't understand. But I said, no, I will bowl because I get bored after batting. If you don't get runs as an opener, you get out early, then you're just sitting and clapping. So I said, definitely I will bowl. And the very next day, I started. It wasn't like it took me time. The very next day, I started taking my friend CK Venkat. He was a wicket keeper. Started bowling single stump and wanted to do well. And luckily, my first game was against my previous team, Spick, who never gave me any bowling, but I picked up 10 wickets against them.
So one way to establish your bowling credentials to a team which you left and came.
And they had all state players at that point in time. And it was a gun team. So I was really, really happy that I could show them that I could bowl too.
US is a very intriguing career in many ways, in the sense that you played for Tamil Nadu a few seasons, then things were not happening. There was a chance that you would perhaps get stagnated and fade away. Then the move to Punjab changed things completely.
Yes, absolutely, Ram. It was due to Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi, who's no more, I, who passed away just a few weeks back. And he had seen me before. Uh, as you know, whether it was a Punjab team or a Australian team or Pakistan, whichever team came and played matches in Chennai, I used to go and bowl in the nets. So, although I was a batsman, I used to bowl. So, Delhi people had seen me, Mohinder Amarnath and Maninder Singh and everybody, but their team was very strong. Delhi, once when they had come, they asked me, I went and bowled, and then Bishan Singh Bedi had a look at me. The next time when they came, Punjab, that was a time they had already won the Ranji Trophy and they were trying to make the team even stronger. So Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi asked me if I would like to come to Punjab. But then his thing was that I'll have to stay there. It's not a professional. I'll have to stay there. And also Punjab government had given jobs to each team had one company had adopted. So PCL was a company which all the cricketers were employed in. He said, I would want you to join that. I had to leave my job in MRF and join there because he wanted PCL to go and play as a team before the Ranji Trophy in, say, Buchi Babu and KSCA. So that was his aim, that all the boys stay together and play right through the year. And it worked well because my dad just asked me, do you want to go? I said, yeah, because they're calling, I want to go. Because what happens when you go search for a team and by chance you don't do well in 2, 3 games, then and if you get dropped, you're neither in your old state, you're neither in your new state. But when someone else is calling you, they're seeing something in you. And I said, I want to take this chance because there's so many spinners in the South Zone. And even though you're performing, you're still falling behind because they keep saying you're young. And that was one reason which was given why I was not picked in the zone. Although the chairman at that point in time, Mr. Vishwanath, put me in the board president 11, but could not put me in the South Zone team. And so when I went there, the first tournament was a Dulip Trophy. And that changed everything for me because the very first game I got 100 on debut and also got 7 wickets against Central Zone. Then against West Zone, I had 5 wickets and about 50 odd runs. And right through the tournament, I had done well. So that was the tournament where I hadn't played for Punjab, but Bishan Singh Bedi had still managed to. He went into the meeting personally so that I get into the North Zone team. And because there was no off spinner at that point in North Zone, and that helped me a lot.
That should have been seen theoretically as a bizarre move because a spinner getting a lot of opportunities to play on turners down south suddenly decides to go to a place where you get verdant green pitches. Must have looked very bizarre to many.
Yeah, it would have, but Ram, as we have played together, you yourself know, I like bowling on good wickets rather than turning tracks. I used to struggle a little bit in my younger days when I started cricket on turning tracks, but on good wickets, I I was uh, I was very happy because I knew what to do and learnt with age towards the end how to bowl on turning tracks. It takes a lot of time. It took a lot of time for me to understand how to bowl on really bad wickets. But yes, the only problem I had in Mohali was because they gave green top wickets, I never got to bowl. Before my bowling came, there would be three, four pace bowlers, quality pace bowlers who would finish the innings. And there might be about 20, 25, 30 innings where I never got to bowl a single over or maybe bowl two, 3 overs. So that was one problem for me. Once I got the ball in hand, that was not a problem, bowling on a good wicket. But the problem was to get the ball.
As one who said that bowling on turning tracks is not easy, you would appreciate Ashwin's performance in international cricket, even though there's some criticism about him picking up wickets on turners.
Oh, absolutely, Ram. It's an art whether to bowl on a good wicket, bad wicket, whatever wicket you get, you still need to pick up wickets. There are so many Pata wickets that were made. Not every batsman gets 100. You know how you should know how to get runs on those wickets. There are so many green wickets that pace bowlers get. Not everybody gets wickets for you. It is those one or two bowlers who know how to bowl on those wickets pick up wickets. So Ashwin has improved over the years, and yes, those wickets might have helped him in getting that confidence, establishing himself in the team. Uh, because if you just play on good placid wickets and you end up getting one or two wickets, you're not really sure of your place in the side till you get those big wickets in your bag and people seeing you start seeing you differently. Even the opposition starts seeing you differently. It doesn't matter you played on a good wicket or a bad wicket. You always become a threat. So in that context, yes, that might have helped him, but then he utilized that to establish himself and play for such a long time.
Going back to your career, your performances in the duration game earned you a India cap, debut against Australia, that dismissal of Ricky Ponting. Does that video go in your mind even now? Does it keep playing even now?
Yeah, because I played few tests and the wickets that I got, I have about 6 wickets. So that is one of the top wickets. I mean, for me, all the wickets are good because the wickets that I had was Ricky Ponting, Steve Waugh, Mark Taylor, Carl Hooper, Gary Kirsten, and Herschel Gibbs. So all these 6 wickets keep replaying in my mind.
Now, the reason why I asked Ricky Ponting is that if I remember, it was a classical dismissal, cover drive through the gate, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, that wicket obviously is a dream for an off spinner, for any off spinner, and Ricky Ponting was also in the same boat as me. He was trying to establish himself at that point in time, and on Indian wickets he was struggling. And I think I started his struggle in India. That was the first dismissal of Ricky Ponting in India, after which he never got runs.
Then you got a place in the World Cup squad as well, 96 World Cup, and you were preferred more for the shorter format. Was there any specific reason? Because of your all round ability?
Ram, I have no idea why I was preferred or why I was not preferred also. Both ways. Because one series I would be there and the next series I would not be there and there would be no domestic cricket. And the next series again I would be there. So I had absolutely no idea why I would get picked and why I would get dropped and why I would get picked again. But the thing is, one thing I knew is that they would say that you will play when there are a lot of left-handers. And that is one thing I used to keep waiting when will the left-handers come in the opposition team. So Sri Lanka, I knew I'm going to play against Jai Surya and Lot and some other teams. But there have been instances where I played, say, against New Zealand and did well against them in the home series. And I think out of the 17 games that I played, India has won in 15. So they used to use the term we are not changing the winning combination. But when I used to play and we used to win, they used to change. So even that confused me. I had absolutely no idea why things were happening like that. And in the hindsight now, I understand a little bit. In those days, in my time, what was happening in the team. So maybe that could be a cause. I hope you understand too.
One of the things that obviously people remember about that 96 World Cup was the exit and then the disappointment that was writ large on everybody's faces, and of course, the way the crowd reacted to that exit. Rather
Exactly.
unexpected it was in a way.
It was very very sad for us cricketers as well, most of us, and it was like the moment when we lost the game that day. You felt bad, but then we were sitting together after the match. It took us almost an hour and a half for the police to clear the crowds first, and then we went to the hotel. And then Sachin called 5 or 6 or 7 of us to the room because next morning we had to take a flight. And that's when I was just sitting and they kept asking. I said, guys, you people are just sitting here and chatting. When you see the finals on the TV 3 days later or 4 days later, is when it's going to hit you that we have missed something in life. You know, uh, Sachin might have got another opportunity or many more opportunities after that, but not everybody gets that. So, yes, we wanted to do well, we wanted to win, and the decision to, bowl first on that wicket was such a bizarre decision, and which was taken, say, about in the previous game itself, when we are sitting in Gwalior or wherever we were playing, I think. And that was told to us that we played in Delhi against them, and Kalu and Jayasurya had begun playing in a different way for Sri Lanka. So the reason given was, come what may, if these two, if they put up 300 runs also on the board, if they bat first, for their bowling, we can chase it down, which could have been done on a good wicket. Yes, with our batting and their bowling, we could have done it on a good wicket, but not on that wicket, which you had also seen. It became like it was like beach sand after the second innings. There was no wicket. There was just loose sand all over the place. And Jayasurya was turning it square from over the wicket. So it was quite impossible to play. It was only what runs you got of the medium pacers. Uh, that's why we had a good start. And the moment Sachin got out, once the medium pacers were off, uh, it was just a slump after that.
But Aravinda De Silva was sheer magic, wasn't he? Nil for
Yeah,
two, he
yeah,
walks out and he takes the game away.
yeah, he took the game away, Ram. But again, there were lots of decisions which were, you know, baffling us later on because we had said uh, we will not give Venkatesh Prasad the new ball because Jayasurya always loved to take him on and he used to go bonkers against him and score runs, lots of runs. He used to hit Venkatesh Prasad because ball coming in, he used to pick him off the legs and keep hitting him for six. But Venkatesh Prasad was one bowler who always got De Silva out because of the outswinger, the way De Silva played. Each and every time he got him caught behind. And the decision was we will bowl Kumble from the other end as long as these two are playing. But when Javagal Srinath got the two wickets, both the openers in the first over, the second over should have been bowled by Venkatesh Prasad when De Silva walked in. But we kept continuing with Kumble. And that let him set because the wicket was not turning at that point in time, was not stopping because it was rolled in well. It was loose sand. It was rolled. It played well for about 1.5 hours for the spinners. And after that, as the ball kept, you started running on the wicket, the batsman started running, and you started bowling. The wicket started crumbling. But initially, I think we missed a trick. If Venki had bowled initially to De Silva, maybe De Silva would have got runs. He's a world class player, but there's a lot of chances that Venki might have got him out.
I always felt he had terrific talent to pick up the best cricketers possible if you're asked to pick up a team. Those skills came in handy when you were a junior selector.
Definitely, Ram. Uh, even you know that when we used to go play MRF matches uh, in these invitational tournaments, we would sit and discuss and not bother you. We would be sitting in the office and discussing who should we take from the whole of India. We need to take two players. So most of the time it was the player that I would recommend to Mr. Shekhar that let's pick this guy. This is the slot that we need to fill in our team. And I had that thing. I don't know. It's a God gift or thanks to him that I'm able to pick some talent, the right talent. Obviously, it's not going to be 100%, but if your percentage is high, then it's. I think you're doing a decent job. And in junior selection, again, we have picked most of the guys uh, who are now superstars or going to become superstars in the near future. I mean, or going to play for India at least. And you had guys like Prithvi Shah and Shubman Gill and now Bishnoi, Karthik Tyagi, and all these guys are from the Jaiswal who never, who was in fact dropped. You were the coach for that tour to Sri Lanka when I told you this guy was dropped from the zone team, but I still picked him because we saw something in him. And that's what I kept telling Venki when he was the chairman. It doesn't matter what runs they score, what wickets they take. At this level, if you see some talent, outstanding talent, maybe he's had a bad season. We need to back that guy. Maybe he'll have an exceptional season later on, but that's when we need to give him confidence. And that's where your ability to understand a player and pick a player comes into play.
Around the time you became the junior chairman, selection committee chairman, the conversion rate from the junior to senior national side was declining. What, according to you, were the reasons for this?
Ram, I have absolutely no clue about the declining rates before that or after that or what it is right now. Uh, I just see there were times when ordinary cricketers also wanted to play this under 19, and there was a virus in our system where overage boys were playing a lot of this under 19, under 23 cricket. So when a 23-year-old boy is playing against a 19-year-old kid or 18-year-old kid, obviously he's 4 years, he's got an advantage of 4 years. And maybe he's much, much better. He performs at that level. But the moment he's done well, they forget that they have to play Ranji Trophy and Dulip Trophy to get into the Indian side. They're not just going to get picked straight away unless you're a extremely, extremely talented guy like a Sachin or maybe like a Shubman Gill or someone where the selectors see, no, we can just draft him in. So they these guys forgot that they have to play first class cricket to get him. And the moment they came and played with their age group in the first class cricket, they struggled, most of them. So that could be one of the reason why the conversion rate was less at that point in time. So you found that one or two guys who were of proper age, who were outstanding cricketers, always made it to the side. Maybe after a few years of struggle, including say like Virat Kohli or a Yuvraj Singh or a KF, who all played, but they were not picked directly from under 19. They still went to the first class cricket. They performed, but only thing the senior selectors get to know who's a talented cricketer and what he's doing in first class cricket. Oh, he did well in under 19 and now he's getting hundreds in Ranji Trophy. Okay, this boy must be good. Then they would start giving you chances. So that is what was missing with a lot of cricketers, I think, in the past few years. But if you see in the last 2 years, BCCI has and Rahul and we sat and even you were there in NC at that point in time to see how we can root out all these overage cricketers. Then the bans came into place, and I think it has reduced the overage cricket now in junior cricket, and you're finding guys of proper age playing that. Also, there was a rule which was brought in: you can play only one World Cup. So there was no need to actually change your age. There were people who were playing three World Cups, right? So lots of people wanted to play this under 19 World Cup again and again and again. So you had few couple days in the under 19s. Given a chance, they would have played 400 test matches, 200 test matches in the under 19s itself. So that was one thing. And then also the selectors were told that we need to rotate the players. We just don't have to go with one set of 15 players, even they might be the best, because someone else also might be just eight. The difference might be 19 and 20. So we need to see all the guys. So every series you would see some new players, and that's another reason why that could have helped. That you're not going to just keep playing every series. Um, and I think yes, but now if you see Jaiswal has come up, he's come good. Like you're talking about Padikal again, another under 19 kid. He's played from our set. Then you have Shubman Gill. Then, lots of these guys who have Bishnoi has played. So at least I can think of about five or six guys from the last when I left have already played for India or whatever India A, and I think that's a decent conversion at the moment.
You've been an integral part of different franchises in the IPL auctions. Just tell us quickly, how do you go about picking a squad
Only
of
only two,
players?
Ram. Only
No, no.
two.
Different franchises is a term for two as well.
uh, Ram, in the first year when I was with Delhi, Shekhar, obviously he had seen me pick teams for MRF, right? So when he joined, I was still working with MRF. The day he took me for the auction, he took me just as a friend. I went and helped him out. It was not like I was working for JMR or something. He said, "Come and help me out in the auction," because I was telling him I used to go to England to play, and I used to see these antique auctions, how it worked on television. You know, in England you get bored, so whatever was coming on television. So I used to enjoy those auctions, and so I had a little sense. Then I used to play this football manager games uh, on the video games where you play as a manager. So I understood their system of how the players are traded, and how you buy players, and there's auction and things like that in that. So I gave him some ideas. So he was impressed. He said, "No, no, you make this team." And so MRF every day I used to sit, and every day there would be Mr. Modi has changed this rule, so you make the team again. And this happened about 10, 15 times. This rule changed, that rule changed, because it was the first year. It was they had teething problems as well. So then I went to the auction with him. I had about 14 or 15 players that we needed to make, and then rest you could add up. And out of the 14 or 15, when we got 12 of the players, what we needed, so owners were quite happy with the team, and then they said, "You join us if you want to join us." And then I joined them. And then now, after that, I 6, 7 years after that, I quit, and then I became a junior selector. And now Nera and me, we were talking that we should, find a team and work together as. And this opportunity we got in Gujarat. So again, it was that big auction, and we could only pick three players. And we went about it, and picking a team, I think, Ram, there are some times where people think if you have, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. If you miss one or two pieces also, you might have 12, 13 extremely talented good players. But even if you miss out on that one or two pieces of that jigsaw puzzle, your team is not complete. And people are quite happy when they find, oh, we have these kind of players, but those two slots missing, which they are not able to cover up in the whole season. So for me, even if I have my third option, it doesn't matter. I need to fill that slot. I can't be going in with something else. And there are times when I have to leave out one of the world's best player, or because he doesn't fit in my team. And it does not matter. I need to make a team. I don't need to have a set of individuals because, as you know, individuals can win you matches and teams can win you championships. So, my aim always is to make a good, solid team where it covers most of the things so that you want to go in a different wicket with different person. You should have that guy in your backup who you want to play. Like, I've been begging for Noor with when I was a selector, when I saw him as a junior selector, I sent messages to Lakshman and Zaire and every franchise. Virat Kohli spoke to me, but nobody picked him. In the big auction, I told Nera, 25 guys, you pick 24 if you want, but one guy I will pick. And he said, no, who's that? I told him I want this guy Noor in my team. Because tomorrow, if something happens to Rashid, you have another mystery bowler who could be useful, or you could have two mystery bowlers bowling in tandem, and that could be a big problem for the other team. And other teams have ignored him. He will come good. He's just 18 or 19. He's played all around the world, but I don't know why, for some reason, nobody picks him. And that's the kind of thing you need to have insight about players, which will help you in making teams.
You and Nera, you've taken Gujarat Titans on a path, that people dream of. If you were to attribute one reason for the fantastic run you had, what would that be?
Ram, I think in every way, uh, there are lots of there are two, three reasons. I think one, till today, I don't know who the owners are. Right? Uh, I've seen in many franchises the owners get into initially they're okay when the team starts losing they get into making the 11 also of the team, and that upsets everything, right? Because they are such rich people and they get information from their friends and their family and relatives or whoever, and then that is put onto the team. One is that because they keep saying it's corporate, and I still don't understand, Ram. Very frankly, I keep every year when I go, I say, who's the owner? And there are two, three guys. One who comes from Bombay, two guys, and one he comes from England. I say, is he the owner? They say, no, he's not the owner. They're all investors. So I don't understand this concept and I don't want to understand. It's working fine for us as long. And they simply do not interfere in cricket. They're such lovely people. They come, they watch the game, you lose, you win. They're the same and they go back. Second, I think, is Nera, how he handles the team, right? He he gives importance to each and every player of the team. It's not, I've seen in many teams where superstars get to bat and bowl in the nets. Naira is the other way around. Our practice has to finish in 3 hours. Ram, and you will not believe we have gone for practice at 4 o'clock from the hotel. We have come back at 12 o'clock. And I keep asking him, even a test match finishes before this. You're taking more time than a test match to for practice. And he would give the guys who are not even having a chance to bat for like in one net for half an hour, then throw down for half an hour, then another net if he can bat with somebody for another half an hour. So the guys who are number 24 in the team who are not going to play are still getting to practice the same or more than the guys who are actually playing in the 11, and that keeps everybody involved, everybody happy. What happens in lots of teams I've seen, the guys who are not playing, say after 15, the top 15, they don't get to bat, they don't get to bowl. So they're just coming to the nets, and then a kind of atmosphere comes into the team where he says, oh, even if the team does well, doesn't do well, doesn't matter to them because, but in this team, if you see, everybody from top to bottom wants to win, wants to do well, wants the other guy to do well. And that has been so when Nera and me sat and we started to make the team, only thing I said is we don't need superstars. As long as we have a good team, we will win. We will do well. Believe me.
It's a well knit team. Everybody's happy. Now, all of you must be disappointed with Hardik Pandya out of the World Cup.
And that happens. That happens every year with some team or the other. One main player, like If you take Delhi, Rishabh Pant was out last year. If you take another team, someone, Jofra Archer he played, but he was totally unfit. Every team has that problem. So that is why it's a blessing in disguise that for 2 years we have not had too much of problem. Yes, Hardik Pandya out of the World Cup, but last year also, if you see, he had problems with his body a little bit. He played a lot of matches, he missed a few games, and that has been going on for the last 2 years. But right now, we don't know how far he's fit, whether he'll be able to play IPL or not. But again, if he's there, good. If he's not there, we can't crib. We still continue with the work that we still need to top the four teams, qualify, and with whatever we have, I think we have enough resources where we can maneuver. Yes, his bowling and batting obviously is a big loss, but you cover it up with other players. If you have those players in your team, a Vijay Shankar could do you a job what he bats, right? A bowler, maybe we get in a spinner or maybe another medium pacer or maybe find somebody in this auction. We will go into the auction with ideas of, if
Before the
Hardik
auction,
something.
you have the World Cup going.
Yeah,
Now, let's move on to the World Cup a little bit.
yeah,
It's generally considered tough when you play at home because the pressure is bound to be there, extra
100%.
pressure. But this team is more or less making a mockery of that notion, isn't it? The way they are playing at
Ram,
home.
I've not seen any team play a World Cup like this. Maybe West Indies in their prime, but I was very young. I only saw the couple day World Cup where again they were dominating and they lost in that finals. But apart from that, uh, I don't. And Australia for some when Alan Border was captain and after West Indies, they were. But nobody played cricket like this. 55 all out, 85 all out, 100 all out. I mean, it's a joke. It happens once, it's fine. Asia Cup again, finals 55 all out. I mean, the bowlers, I would give credit to the bowlers. Batsmen, yes, they keep getting runs, even when big scores are there. 300 people have been scoring in the past, but no team is getting the other team all out for 55 and 100. So the bowlers consistently doing that. The three pace bowlers are putting so much pressure on the opposition by picking up wickets, not by bowling maiden overs. Picking up wickets, they are going there with an attitude to pick wickets, and that's what is missing in world cricket. And that's why I think the team score runs. When you go with a mindset that after one boundary you remove all the fielders, push them back, and go defensive, batsmen can see that, can feel it. Okay, now you're on the defensive mode. Now it's easy to score runs. But when those two slips or whatever gully and things, they know that even these great players who are scoring runs are still edging the ball. But most of the time, there's no fielders there to take those catches. But now, when those fielders are there, even they're scared to play the shots because they know if they edge one and the way these guys are bowling. And you're talking about Hardik. I think it's a blessing in disguise for Indian team. Hardik got injured. Adesh Shami would never have played. And Shardul would have continued playing at number 8. And I was doing a stint with All India Radio, and I kept saying in the first two games that Shami should be playing in this team because he's a wicket-taking bowler. And the previous series, last match, he's got 5 wickets against Australia, and he's still missing out on this. We need a bowler who can pick wickets. If Hardik is our fourth bowler, it's a lot more pressure for the opposition, where a fourth bowler is coming and bowling at 140. But when Hardik is bowling at number 3, it's a different thing altogether. So I think Ram, this team, this bowling attack, what it's done, I don't think anybody has done in the past in the World Cups. Single-handedly dominated. But my only thing is, most teams uh, have one bad match in a tournament. India still not had that, and I hope they don't have it for the next two games as well.
What's your prediction on November 19?
I have no prediction. I'm not an astrologer, and I have no absolutely. I mean, I'm just whenever I get a chance, I'm just enjoying this World Cup, and I even enjoyed Afghanistan's wins, the way they fought and won a few games. And Australia's that day I was not able to see. I saw the highlights and I enjoyed Maxwell's innings that he stood and played the way he stood. You know, so I've been on and off because of some reasons, but I'm enjoying whichever team is winning. New Zealand had been doing so well in the first four games, and suddenly they lost four in a row, and then they won now. And Pakistan got smashed early on, then they won a few games. Now they are saying that they have to beat England. I don't know if they still stand a chance. So I want the four best teams to play the semi-finals, and let's see. And I want to see if the same bowling attack can do the same things when it's a knockout game.
Talking of bowling, a lot of bowlers doing well, but I'll ask you one important thing as far as you're concerned. The craft that you practice, the off spin variety, is it in
Yes.
danger of becoming extinct?
I don't think so, Ram. You have some quality bowlers. Yes, this format, if you see the T20 format, people have started spinning the ball less, right? And when I work with Noor and Sai Kishore and things, and I bowl sometimes in the nets, and I bowl so slowly because I've got old as well, and I never bowled fast. People struggle to hit me, and Sai Kishore keeps standing next to me and saying, "Sir, how you're bowling so slow and they're not able?" I said, "That's what a spinner needs to do. You people are bowling medium pace, right, and not spinning the ball. So you will struggle. It will come onto the bat." So people, I think the bowlers, a guy like Nathan Lyon, if you see, he's not going to struggle because he's bowling genuine off spin. And I'm
The reason
really
I asked
surprised.
the reason
Yeah.
I asked this question is because the general tendency is to lean towards leg spinners and these matchups these days. And the reasons given to you, you will play when you have left-handers batting the opposition.
No,
So
that
all
still is
that
on.
is
That
making
still
it
is
a little bit of a challenge with off spinners these days, isn't it?
no, Ram. Now my only thing is why we had so many spinners in the past. You could Indian team could leave out three spinners and get three new spinners as well in our days because the spinners were bowling so much in domestic cricket. And from the time this rule of 3 grass has come into play, in the earlier days, you used to struggle to find medium pacers. You had the same set of three or four medium pacers or five medium pacers revolving at that point in time in the Indian team. Because you didn't have, they used to play on Pata wickets where a lot of pace and Sonex balls. So after 5, 6 overs, the pace bowlers had no work. And the spinners bowled about 70, 80 overs till the second new ball came on. In today's day and age, you're doing commentary as well in domestic cricket. How many overs do you see of spinner bowling in a day? Have you seen a 35 over spell by a spinner? Earlier days, you would find two spinners bowling 30, 35 over spell. And that's what improved them because they bowled so much, they learned so much from the mistakes. And that's how the Indian batsmen also improved playing spin. Today, if you tell me, people keep saying, no, we're good players of spin. No, we are not good players of spin. We are absolutely, in my opinion, we are the the Indian team cricketers are not good players of spin when the ball turns. You see, even the top batsmen struggle against a ball that turns, they get out very simply. You would not find that happening with the Sunil Gavaskar or you know players Sachin Tendulkar or because they played so much of spin as well. Nowadays, when they're with the team, they're playing the same one or two spinners that they have in the nets. And for how long are they playing? For 10 minutes? And that is what is causing this thing where the batsmen are also struggling against spinners and the bowlers are also very few. Now, if you're, I think the selectors are picking the spinners only from IPL. If you remove IPL and you ask them to pick from just from Ranji Trophy, I want to see how many spinners they can pick. They would be struggling because the spinners are hardly bowling in Ranji Trophy. That's the in 9 matches, maybe one or two innings they get where they get to bowl a long spin. And earlier it used to be two medium pacers, three spinners in the team, in the 11. These days you find three medium pacers, one batsman who can bowl medium pace, and one spinner in the team. That too, if something happens to the wicket on the final day or the last innings. In the
Okay,
first,
if I were to ask you to advise a budding spinner, what would be your words of wisdom for him or her, for that matter?
it would be to spin the ball first. First and foremost thing for a spinner to do is spin the ball. When he starts to actually spin the ball is when he's going to get dip on the ball. He and he has to spin the ball in the air, not off the wicket. If you spin off the wicket, it's an off break bowler. If you spin in the air, it's an off spinner. You spin it in the air. So if he's spinning it in the air, obviously he's doing most things right. And I don't think there are a lot of off spinners. There are a lot of off break bowlers who are trying to turn the ball off the wicket if wicket is doing something. They always need assistance from the wickets. That's why I said a bowler should be able to bowl on a good wicket. If he's able to bowl on a good wicket and he's able to survive, that means he's doing most things right.
Good.
So
I need you to look after the other aspect. If budding spinners have to really become better, educate the captains now. What does a spinner need from a captain?
Ram, you've been a captain for me, and one thing you are a real pain for me. When in the first 2 years, when you remove the point, you used to give me in the first 2 overs 1 point, and the moment you remove the point, very first ball would go for a boundary, and that happened for about 1.5 years. And you were relentless in doing that, and I was relentless in getting hit for a boundary. The very first ball, you removed the point. So that kept going on, and I used to curse you like hell to Sendil, who was standing at short. Oh, what is he doing? Why does he remove? And he said, hey, you just go. And after that first ball, I would be okay. But that first ball would definitely go for a boundary. But one day, lying on the bed, I don't know, it suddenly struck me. If he removes that, I just need to bowl that ball slow and bowl up rather than try to bowl. Because the moment you remove the point, I used to bowl like quick and get cut for a four. So the next day, I went when you removed, I was happy. I said, you removed. Today I will not get hit for a four. And then I bowled slow and I bowled it up. And he defended it. So then I realized, okay, this is what I have to do. It is also how much you're thinking for your cricket. It's and today's day and age, I feel the cricketers have stopped thinking. It is the captain should tell him what to do. The coach has to tell him what to do. The video analyst has to tell him what to do. You know, they have become so dependent on all these three factors that they have stopped using their brains. First of all, like I said, the spinner needs to do that, not spinner. Spinner has to do, but every cricketer, whether it's a pace bowler, batsman, or a spinner, needs to start using his own brain. And I've seen some international cricketers in IPL teams also, where they're so dependent on the video analyst. That video analyst has to show them where they have to bowl. And they were ranked number one bowler in the world at that point in time in ODI cricket. So it used to stun me that how people are stopped using their brain and becoming so dependent on these video analysts and other people.
Thank you, Ashish. It is lovely chatting to you, and thanks for your time. And we'll get to see more things coming from you in the future as well. And the very best wishes for whatever you undertake in the future too.
Thanks a lot, Ram. Thanks. Same to you, Ram.
Modern cricketers are dependent on others, is what is the verdict from Aashish Kapoor. He's always known to call a spade, and I'm sure that you'd have enjoyed this conversation. For those who are joining us for the first time, just log on to the handle of Sportstar and see all the earlier episodes. I'm sure you'll enjoy those too. And for those who've been with us, please give us your valuable feedback and also keep sending in those comments, which will help us to dish out what it is that you exactly want us to do in the future episodes. And going back again to the people who are joining us on this episode or who have been following us just recently, uh, click on all the buttons that you can, the like, the subscribe, whatever there is to be clicked on, please do it and keep following us in the future episodes too. And like I always say, until I catch up with you next time, be good and stay safe.